We're here to solve this tough Kakuro by Salih Alan called Knight's Moves. It's got a pretty compact grid because of all these black squares. It looks like it actually has 8 white cells in each row and column because it's got 2 black cells in each row and column. So we're getting like mostly 4 cell long clues, but on the edges some 2 or 3 cell clues. Here's a normal given clue of 7. Here's a given clue of 11. Actually, 29 is also a given clue, and that's 5, 7, 8, 9, which we can mark in here. And actually that intersects a place like this 13. If we took an 8 or 9, we'd get smaller than 6 in these cells. That's not going to work, so we can get some eliminations like these, put in this 1, 2, 3. Maybe some other spots we can do some progress like that, but one place I haven't looked yet that actually looks like a good starting point is this lower left corner. Got a fairly small sum, so 5 will only take values up to 4. And a 21, if you put a 4 into the cell, leaves behind 17 exactly, which is 8 and 9, the largest it can be. So this is a min-max cell. And we'll put in 8, 9 in the space. This 8, though, intersects a 14. If 9 were here, we'd leave behind 5, which is too few. So this is 8, this is 9, and these cells will sum up to 6, which will be 1, 2, 3. Can't put a 1 down here. This 9 actually puts the same constraints over here. These also now have to sum up to 6 in the remaining cells. 12 and 2 cells will need to take a 3 with a 9, at least behind us to 1, 2 set for this. 22 is a fairly large sum, and right now it's seeing these two pretty small digits. So let's look at their maximum value, which is 2 and 3, which would be 5, leaving behind 17. That's 9 and 8, so that's absolutely required. We can't be smaller than a 5 in these two cells, so 2 is here, 3 is here, puts in a 1. Completing out the sum needs to have a 1 up above and 2 below. That actually interacts with this 7 clue and gives all these values. It interacts with this 11 clue, gives all these values. So this is some pretty quick progress. This is a 6 from completing the sum to the left. This is a 7 from completing the sum to the left. This, again, we said was 8 with 9. 8, 9 has to go there. That interacts with these clues, so that finishes out. This is now 24 with a 2. And this is 9, 8. So here again, we've got 2 small values and a large sum. We actually have 19 with 3 cells to go. If this were a 1, it would leave behind 18 and 2 cells, which doesn't work. So this must be a 3. Leaves behind 16, which is 9 and 7. 7 will have to be on the left, 9 over here, and I'll put in a 3. That gives behind just a 1, 4 as the remaining set. So you can do this. Whichever of 1 or 2 this is, this will be 23 or 24. So that'll be 6 plus 8 plus 9 or 7 plus 8 plus 9. So we do have a constraint like 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, although you can't put a 9 in the cell because the 11 up above wouldn't work. And 6, 7, 8, 9 here. So one observation is the only place a 9 goes in those clues and reflect that both of those required having a 9 is over here. Another thing to see is actually this whole column is fairly constrained now. If this is a 6 with this 9, we have 15 with 3 left over. That's a min-max value, so this actually has to be 6 with 1 and 2. You couldn't put a 4 here, so the 4 is over on the left. That now means that we actually had to have a 2 here to get 23, which is solved by 6, 8, 9. Puts in these digits, puts in this 1, 8 in this column with 11. We'll have to have 1 down and 2 there to finish this out. 1 and 2, leaving behind 10 will be 3, 4, 6, 7. This can't be a 4 because of the digit below. This can't be a 4 because it would be 4 plus 4. That actually means that we can't have 4 and 6 in the space, so this is 3, 7. This will be a 1 or a 5. A 5 here, put a 5 there, that's no good. So this is now a 1, 7, 3. This is a 9, and finishing out that 22 sum is a 6. So good progress. Don't sort of have a next place to go yet, but I haven't looked at this sum, which is a good one on the high end. 22 and 3 cells always needs to have a 9 in it, and so one thing to look at when you see a 22 is like, where can a 9 go? This 14 coming down can be 8 with 1, 2, 3, but it can't have a 9 in it, so I can get a 9 out of that cell. This 11 in 3 cells can have an 8 with a 1, 2, but it can't have a 9 in it, so again we cancel here. And 8, 7, 6 doesn't get us 22, so again, just knowing that a 22 needs to have a 9, the only place a 9 can still go is here. And what does that do for me? 9 in the sum still doesn't give me much constraints. This will have to have no larger than a 6. 10 in the sum has no larger than a 7. This doesn't do much, but I think these three nines work together now actually on this clue. So this is a 21 remaining, and I no longer can have a 9 in it because 9s are everywhere else around it. So 6, 7, 8 is now the max that can be, and that adds up to exactly 21, so that's what it's going to have to be. We said that this had to be a total sum of 9, so 6 is a force constraint here with 1, 2. So we're now down to here. This is a sum of 10 in 3 cells, and that can be 7 with 1, 2, but it can't be 8 with anything. So 7 goes in here. And now to complete this with the 2 to the left, this is 1 and 2, this is 1 and 2. So those are all known for sure. 8 and 9 came in here. 17 leaves behind 1 and 3. The 3 is already in there, so this is looking this way. Leaves behind a 2, 6. 1 and 2, leaving behind a total value of 14. So this will be 5, 6, 8, 9 in some set. And my guess is actually these clues are going to interact now in a pretty key way because they're two big values, but in a smallish sum. 5 and 6 would be the minimum set for these two, which would add up to 11, leaving behind 1 and 2 as that value. So we can get rid of all the values except for 5 and 6 here, which get rid of these values. What more can we do with that? Well, we now actually, where we said this could be 8, that would require 1 and 2 up above, but 1 and 2 are taken here, so this will have to be an option with a 7 that still works, which is 7, 3. That means this is a 6, this is a 5, this is a 9. 1 and 2 is going to put an 8 or 9 here, but the 9's up above, so this is how that goes. Let's just finish the top. We've got 6, puts in 8, puts in a 4, puts in a 7. Coming here, we've got 17 with 5 to go, so this is 2 with 3. 6 comes in here. This is 1, 2, 4. It's going to need to have a 4 here. If this were a 1, it would be too small, so this is 2 with 9. 1 is down here. Finishing the sum is 7 with 6. This 9 will now need a 1 and 3 to finish, and to complete the sum, we need a last 5. So we finished this grid, which was a good workout. It looked like it had one simple seed in this bottom that just then kept intersecting with these kind of min-max positions as we kept coming across. Even how this 11 and 29 started were a big min-max collision. A really key step that I think probably was required was getting these 3 9s into the grid, including one key observation around this 22, but then having those interact with this 22 clue coming across. That with a 1 placed here needs to get to 21 in the remaining cells, and the only value without 9s in it is 6, 7, 8. And that actually forces the remaining placements. So a really subtle theme, but a really great challenge from Salih. So thanks for the puzzle, and we'll see you again soon.